Hi there. Thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday. It is December the 17th, and it looks as though winter has settled in quite nicely throughout the lower Great Lakes. Snow on my drive-in.
A song comes to mind. Slip sliding away.
I don't know that song.
Don't you know?
I don't.
Oh, there's a song, Slip Sliding Away.
Who
anyway,
sings it?
I don't remember. I just know what's the words.
What's the era?
70s.
That's why I don't know.
Anyway, it's slip sliding away into the guardrails. Already seeing crashes out there, and so it's not good.
We'll take a quick look at the radar and show you these bands coming in. It's actually an Alberta clipper.
This does not melt very well, and we're at those temperatures still where salt doesn't work effectively. So we're in trouble on a lot of the roads. So you're going to have to really slow it down.
Now taking a look at our current temperatures.
But improving.
Absolutely. And by the weekend, we could actually see a little bit of rain coming in. Now, because it's so far out, I mean, the models, they're really kind of in argument over what's going to be happening. But I'm just going to say this. The European model is giving us lots of snow.
If you've ever seen three computers arguing, it's not good. It's bad.
So we do have a messy weekend regardless ahead of us. It has been slippery and it has been cold. Not this weekend. I will have details on what's happening coming up, but first here's Tom. So on Friday, we're looking at a rain event. Temperatures are going to be relatively mild. We're looking above freezing. But because we do have a series of lows that are going to be moving through the area. Hi there. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. It's Tuesday. It is the 17th of December. We've got a little bit of active weather right now. We're seeing some light snow moving in from an Alberta clipper. A couple centimeters of accumulation. Not out of the question. Making roads slick.
I'm already hearing cars going off the roads out in Highway 6 South Guelph line area. There's two of them in the ditch already. Another one out in the east end. Problems on the 427 at the Gardner. So it's already starting to be a nasty day on the highways. Yeah, it's going to be a slick day right across southern Ontario. So as you say, close to the lake, along the 401 corridor, could be treacherous. 404 already getting very slick as well.
All right, let's take a look at our current temperatures. Too cold for salt to be working.
To minus 13, depending on where you are.
And you know, without the wind, it's really quite pleasant. I went for a long walk yesterday afternoon, and in the sun, it felt pretty good. Like it was a nice kind of crisp winter day.
Yeah, I might as well get used to it. Yeah. Winter will be here soon.
Yeah, and this weekend is not looking great. We have more on that coming up. A lot of people still have been digging their way out. There's Burlington, 30 centimeters. So it's not going to be that type of snowfall event this weekend. It has the potential to be, but it looks as though temperatures are going to be a little too warm, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But first, I'm going to turn it over to Tom for an update on your commute. Well, we do have the first clipper moving through, and then the next area of low pressure is going to move in through Friday. Temperatures will be above the freezing mark. That's where we're going to see that rain. We are going to see a fine line of rain, snow, and a little bit in between, so it's certainly going to be a messy weekend ahead. Going nowhere fast. What this storm did to truck drivers in China. Ready, set, brush. The case for safer winter driving. We'll get to that in a moment, but first, you'll need an extra minute or two to clean off your car. A clipper is leaving a fresh dusting of snow. That's expected to kick up, and what the long range is calling for. You've seen them, the drivers who barely clean their windshields after a snowfall, let alone roofs. Snow and freezing rain are keeping trucks in Gwiju province from getting to where they need to go. Degrees. All right, we'll get into your weekend forecast in just a few moments, but first I'm going to turn things over to Tom Reynolds. He has an update on traffic. Good morning. It's Tuesday. It is the 17th of December. It is cold. It is snowy. It is slippery. It feels and looks a lot like winter.
Yeah, and it's not. So there you go. Happy fall to you. It's, what, yes?
Well, I wrote that it wasn't winter yet. I wrote, by the way, it's fall on my Facebook page, and a lot of people got very angry at me.
I know. I just put out my Twitter, beautiful, beautiful fall day.
Yeah. They're like, stop looking at the calendar. You're a scientist. Stop it.
Don't slip. Yeah, be careful underfoot. Be careful under wheel. We've already got lots of cars going off the roads into ditches. Here's
a look at the radar, and you can see some pretty good bands moving through. This is
one in areas, so be careful. We have, the thing is that we don't have high winds associated with this. Very light winds. That's better.
It is.
You know.
Temperatures right now are cold. And
it's 13 up in Barrie, for instance. So it's still going to be chilly.
Yeah, it is. You'll need to bundle up today. And we do have a very messy system on the way for the weekend. We could see rain, freezing rain, and snow.
Yeah. Or we'd like to give everything, yes?
All of the above.
Oh, yeah. We'd like to give you everything.
You know, when in doubt, pick C. I'm picking C.
Okay.
Multiple choice, get it?
All right, sure.
You know, when you were in university and you were doing a multiple test, and anyway, when in doubt, pick C. All right, yesterday, if we see that warm up on Friday, we may see more rain than snow, which could melt a lot of our white Christmas potential away. I'll talk more about that in a moment, but first, here's Tom. Well, we're going to be cold tomorrow, but at least we're going to be sunny. -2 with a little bit of sunshine. We bump up to 3 degrees for Thursday. That's the beginning of the warm-up. 6 for Friday, so that's going to be some rain. That temperature could potentially drop by the time we get there. And then Saturday, we'll see a brief break in between systems and then more messy weather Saturday into. Hi there, thank you for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic, and we've got some active weather on the way. Today, we have been dealing with a clipper moving through southern Ontario, giving us very slippery road conditions. And you can see on the radar, the bulk of the moisture has now, sorry, you're just raining here, I'm trying to catch my breath. The bulk of the moisture has now started to track its way east. Hamilton through Oakville and Toronto could still see this little bullet that's moving its way through Kitchener right now. Temperatures are going to stay cold today. We're talking minus single digits, feeling closer to minus teens, especially this morning. By this afternoon, we are going to be warming up, which is good news. Closer look at the radar, and you can see very slippery road conditions on the QEW and through the 403, the 401. Tom's going to have all of the details of everybody that's kind of made their way into guardrails, unfortunately. 2 to 5 centimeters is what we're expecting of accumulation, so you'll need to brush off your car this morning, give yourself a little bit of extra travel time. Now, this is today. What's coming up on the weekend is substantially messy. We could see rain, we could see freezing rain, and we could see snow. And when in doubt, pick C. We could see all of the above. Now, what's going to happen is once this low, this is today, moves out, it's going to move into Atlantic Canada, cause some very stormy weather there. We've got a low moving to the north of us on Thursday. It's going to pick up some moisture from a new low that's moving its way up from the U.S. This is going to be potentially rain for the Toronto area because temperatures are going to be above the freezing mark. May see a bit of a break throughout the day on Saturday, but then another low moves in through southern Ontario. This one has the potential to be more of a rain-snow mix to snow. Now, a lot of models are in disagreement about this. Some models are saying heavy snow through the GTA. Other models are saying temperatures are too warm. We are going to be seeing a rain-snow mix or just straight rain. So make sure you stay with us for the remainder of the week because as we get closer, the details of the system are really going to come together. Regardless, it is going to be messy for weekend travel plans, for last weekend for holiday shopping, holiday parties. It's going to be a bit of a mess. So if you can alternate your plans, it's a good idea. Here's Tom now with traffic. Hi there, thanks so much for joining us here on the Weather Network. We're taking a look at some active weather not only for today, but for this upcoming weekend. And joining me this morning is one of our meteorologists, Doug Gillum, and we're going to kind of break down exactly what's coming in this weekend. We're going to talk about the uncertainty of what's happening this weekend. Now, Doug, it is the last weekend for holiday shopping.
That's right. It snuck up on us quickly.
It sure did, and it's really going to affect people. The weather, I mean, is really going to affect people this weekend. We have the potential for not only rain, but freezing rain, and you throw in a little bit of snow. It's going to be a messy weekend.
That's right. You know, we lost much of last weekend. If you were safe, you stayed and didn't travel outside last weekend with all the snow. And we have a messy weekend on the way Friday and then late Saturday into Sunday. We're seeing some changes in the forecast and still a lot of uncertainty. This is really just a heads up at this point that we're going to have a stalled front across southern Ontario and a very large difference in the weather from even southern Niagara up to Barrie. And so we're right in that area of uncertainty where we're likely going to see a lot of different precipitation types, rain, freezing rain, and snow.
So a mess. Let's take a look at how this is all going to play out. So this is tonight. We've got this area of low pressure that's going to be moving through Atlantic Canada. Big mess for them.
Right.
For us, we've got this low to the north for Thursday, overnight into Friday. This has the potential, temperature dependent, to be snow and then warming up to rain.
Well, we first warm up Thursday into Thursday night, and then we're going to be above freezing Friday morning. But then this front sags to the south, and we have that potential, even Friday afternoon, to see falling temperatures with a threat for some ice or snow in the GTA.
Ice is not what people want.
Not at
now,
all.
this is the first low. This now starts to track its way east and north, and then we've got low number 2 moving in overnight into Sunday.
This is the much bigger concern. Friday evening could be sloppy. This has potential to bring significant significant amounts of snow on the northern side, rain on the south, probably in western New York, and then the potential for some icing in between.
Okay, so this is not going to be a good system for holiday travel, holiday parties, any kind of shopping. It's probably best to just maybe plan a little earlier this week.
Get your shopping done now.
Get your shopping done now. All right, thanks so much, Doug, for all the information. And Tom, roads are not good this morning. How's the traffic faring in all of this snow? We'll talk about our warm-up expected for this weekend. We'll get into all the nitty-gritty details in just a few moments. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Emily Vukovic. You're watching the Weather Network. Hopefully this car's not yours, but this is what your car could be looking like if you don't give yourself extra travel time this morning. Slow down and brush off your car. Brush off your vehicle. It's so important when we've got snow coming down. Here's a look at the radar, and you can see the bulk of the moisture really starting to track its way east to Toronto and east all the way towards Pickering. Is going to be quite messy right now with the road conditions. Behind that, through Kitchener and Waterloo, we've got snowfall, and the bulk of it has moved through the Hamilton area. But as you see on the radar, this next shot could be coming in the next half an hour or so. So just give yourself lots of extra time. I think that's key. Patience is key. Pack it this morning. 2 to 5 centimeters. Fairly widespread, and then along the eastern shores of Ontario, or sorry, the western shores of Ontario, but east of the city, we could see anywhere from 5 to 10, so it could get a little bit more intense. Now we're going to join Kevin Yard. He's in Pickering this morning. And Kevin, how are the roads getting from Oakville there? Good morning. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. It's the 17th of December. This weekend coming up is your very last weekend to run out and get that extra special something for that extra special someone. And you may not want to do it this weekend.
No, because it's going to be nasty.
Oh, it's going to be messy. We've got rain, we've got freezing rain, we've got snow. We can see all of the above. I mean, it's still a little early to tell exactly what's going to be happening, but this is just kind of a heads up.
Yeah, I find the best time to go shopping is after Christmas. Right? There's hardly any crowds or anything, usually, except for Boxing Day.
Let's look at the radar. It's snowing right now. We're seeing about 2 to 5 centimeters throughout the GTA, and it's just going to make very, very slippery road conditions, unfortunately.
Still very nasty conditions. Lots of cars in the ditches. And the nice thing about having big drifts on the side of the road, when you lose control, you run into the drift.
Instead of the rail.
Instead of the rail.
But snow could be almost as damaging if
well,
it's icy.
It's not quite as bad.
I guess.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to join Kevin Yard. He's in Pickering right now. And Kevin, I know you guys gave yourselves a lot of time to get there this morning, but still, roads are not good. Thanks, Kevin. I'd like to thank Marmar for sending in this great shot from Mississauga, Ontario, really showing exactly how much snow is on the ground. Now, this is after this past weekend. We do have another system on the way. Details on that just ahead, but first, here's Tom. Well, our forecast has really been updated to what we're going to be dealing with this weekend. The warm-up coming on Thursday. By Friday, we've got rain, temperatures hovering around that freezing mark, so you know that we could go from rain to freezing rain to rain to freezing rain. Saturday, it looks as though it's going to start as rain, transition to snow, because Sunday, cooling down to a daytime high of 0. It is going to be a messy weekend for travel. Things not good. We've got snow moving through the GTA, causing for very slippery road conditions. Tom Reynolds has been talking about cars hitting the guardrail, into snowbanks first and then the guardrail. So give yourself lots of extra time this morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Emily Vukovic. We've been tracking this clipper across southern Ontario. It is going to track towards our east. By mid-morning, we'll be out of it. But it is very slippery, and you need to just take it easy on the roads this morning. Here's a look at the radar. The bulk of the moisture now really moving to the east, but we're just getting into a little bit of heavier snow, moving in through Hamilton, through Mississauga and Oakville, right into the Toronto area. This is going to continue for the next hour or so. Cambridge have seen a decent amount of snow, Kitchener as well. Talking 2 to 5 centimeters total amounts. So just enough to make your drive treacherous. Now, areas east of the city, Pickering towards Cobourg, and then off towards Prince Edward County, we could see anywhere from 5 to 10 centimeters. So if you're traveling 401 east, not great. Now, this is today. This weekend is a whole other ballgame. We've got a new low, I should say, a meal of lows. I think Chris Murphy would say that. He would say we're starting off with an appetizer, then you've got your main course, and then you've got your dessert. That's running from Friday to Sunday, and I'll show you that right now. Okay, so we've got the low moving off this evening, making a mess of Atlantic Canada. That's the clipper that we're dealing with today. Thursday, a low moves to our north, so we're not going to see anything from this, but the cold front that is behind it is going to bring us a lot of moisture. It's going to move kind of solidify itself with this low coming up from the state. So they're going to join forces. That's where we're going to see more active weather from that. Now, the warm front ahead of this low, that's going to bump up our temperatures for Thursday, getting above the freezing mark to 3 degrees. Friday, it looks as though it is going to start off as mostly a rain event, but temperatures are going to be hovering around the freezing mark. So that is where we could see that mix or some freezing rain. And then Saturday, bit of a break, but then another big low comes in Saturday and into Sunday, and this could be messy as well. Temperatures just above the freezing mark. So all in all, a very messy weekend ahead with temperatures just above the freezing mark. Rain, freezing rain, and snow. Could see all of the above. Here's Tom now with an update on this morning's commute.
Crash, crash, crash all over the place. People sliding into the ditches and onto the ramps. And as you head up the Ancaster Hill this morning.
Hi there, good morning. It's a chilly start to the day. It's Tuesday. It is the 17th of December. Roads are slick.
They are, and we've had a lot of cars sliding off roads, 410 in Derry, QEW, out around the 401 in Hespeler Road. Lots of cars in ditches and hitting snowbanks, so you just have to really slow it down, take it easy.
Get your snow tires on, people.
Well, and slow down. I mean, that's the biggest problem is people are just going too fast. Then they hit a little bit of ice or snow on the shoulder, and they're gone. And so you've got to prepare for that.
And, you know, I always say to my husband, it's not you that I don't trust. It's everybody else.
Well, that's right. I mean, there's a lot of people who really are not comfortable driving in this, so you got to be aware of that.
Just, you know, it's the holiday season. Stay festive.
Yeah. Ho, ho, ho.
All right, Kevin joins us in Pickering this morning. And Kevin, temperature is a little on the cold side today. Good for you, Kevin. That's good advice. I agree. All right, I'd like to thank Marmar for sending in this picture, Mississauga, Ontario, all the snow. If you want to be part of the morning programming, just upload your pictures to upload.theweathernetwork.com. Here's Tom now with all of the delays. Tom? Not great. Not great. We have got a very messy system on the way for the weekend. Until then, temperatures staying close to seasonal. We warm up briefly on Thursday with a new area of low pressure to our north, and then we start to see some precipitation coming in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with temperatures hovering around the freezing mark. We could see rain, freezing rain, and snow with this system. Not a great weekend for being traveling. Oh, Tom's going to have all the details coming up in just a few moments. We have been dealing with cold temperatures these last few days. The good news is that we do have a warm-up on the way. The bad news is that it could melt the potential for our white Christmas. I've got all those details coming up in your long-range forecast. First, we're going to take a quick look at the radar, and you can see the snow moving through the city of Toronto. It's tracking to its east. We're seeing heavier snowfall through parts of Oakville and through Mississauga, all the way through Oshawa and tracking over towards Port Colborne. If you're traveling this 401 corridor east, it's not going to be great this morning. It's just not. Roads are going to be snow covered. It's going to be very slippery. You're going to have to give yourself lots of extra time. Here's just a closer look at the radar. And Guelph is in it. Milton is in it. Cambridge is in it. Burlington's in it. Hamilton, just on the cusp of it. So lighter snow. So the West End certainly not getting hit as hard with this system. Now, it's certainly not the same as it was over the weekend, but still 2 to 5 centimeters is enough to give you a bit of a headache this morning, like we were saying, commuter headache. Kevin Yard joins us in Pickering this morning. Now, is it going to continue? Well, we've got those details coming up. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network, Canada's #1 choice for complete and accurate weather. I'm Emily Vukovic. Tom Reynolds is going to be joining us in just a few moments as well. He's got your full traffic update. And Kevin Yard, of course, is in Pickering this morning. We'll check in with him in just a moment. We're first going to start things off by taking a look at the radar. And you can see the bullet of heavier snow moving through the Toronto area right now and off towards the east. So through Toronto and Scarborough, where Pickering, where Kevin is, all the way to Oshawa and Cobourg. Not great travel. I'll show you a close-up of this, and you can see in through Burlington and Cambridge. Milton is in this. Mississauga is in this. Oakville is also in this. So travel is not a lot of fun this morning. Snowfall forecast, we're looking at 2 to 5 centimeters. So like I said, not epic amounts of snow, but just enough to make getting around this morning a little bit tricky. We join Kevin Yard now. He is in Pickering this morning. And Kevin, the roads are not good. We can see snow on vehicles. It is so important to brush off not only your windshield, but your whole vehicle. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. It's the 17th of December, and Tom and I have decided that we're going to do a Christmas album.
Yeah, we were just singing little songs, Christmas carols, things like that.
9 times out of 10, Tom and I are standing here. He'll start singing, I'll chime in, and then we'll come to air. Honestly, it happens a lot.
I know. Well, we're just going to release that album, so stay tuned.
Weather people sing badly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at the radar. We do have some snow on the way.
But it has caused a lot of single vehicle problems, and unfortunately, because it's widespread, it's slow everywhere.
Yeah, it's not just in one area.
That's right.
Now, we've got Kevin. He's been joining us in Pickering this morning. And Kevin, what are people saying about the drive there? Thanks, Kevin. Okay, I'd like to thank Marmar for sending in this shot of the snow through Mississauga over the weekend. If you want to be part of our morning programming, all you need to do is take a picture and then upload it to upload.theweathernetwork.com. It's super simple. All right, I'm going to turn things over to Tom. He's got more detailed information. Tom, tell us about those delays. It is going to warm up, but that's not good news. The warm up is going to cause us to have temperatures hovering above the freezing mark. That means we could see rain, we could see freezing rain and snow with the systems that are going to be coming in over the weekend. I know I didn't say system, I said systems. We're actually going to have about 3 areas of low pressure tracking through the GTA, giving us some very messy traveling weather for the weekend. Oh, not only because of the snow, but because of all the collisions that Tom Reynolds is going to update us on in just a few moments. Thanks for joining us here at the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. It is a cold start to the day. You're going to want to bundle up. Feels even colder when you factor in the wind. We do have a warm up on the way for the weekend, but it could also be incredibly messy. If you have plans to go shopping, if you have plans to go to holiday parties, if you have plans to have loved ones over to your house, you're going to want to stay tuned for your long range forecast because I'm going to break down some of the details for you. Here's the radar of that Alberta Clipper moving through Ontario this morning. Some areas seeing more snow than others. It's mostly to the east now. The west end is starting to get out of it. Here's a close-up of the radar. Cambridge was into it. Milton was into it. But now everybody's starting to see the snow ease as this kind of bullet moves its way east through Oshawa over towards Pickering, where Kevin Yard is. So we'll check in with him in just a few minutes as well. About 2 to 5 centimeters of snow in total for this Clipper moving through today. So not crazy amounts, but areas further east. I mean, if you're taking the 401 through Oshawa all the way towards Cobourg into Prince Edward County today, 5 to 10 centimeters. And you know that stretch of 401 through the Cobourg area, it's like an open field. It's not good when it comes to drifting. Now, this area of low pressure that's going to be moving in over the weekend, I should say areas of low pressures, because it's not only going to be one. Let's break it down. This evening, this is the one that's affecting us today. So this is going to move into Atlantic Canada and give them a bad, stormy next couple of days. For us, we'll see a bit of a break throughout the day tomorrow. Starting on Thursday, we've got a low moving to the north of us. It's going to pick up moisture from a low to the south. Now, that low is the cause for our warm-up, so we're going to see temperatures above the freezing mark. The cold front attaching itself to this next low is going to be bringing us cooler temperatures. We're going to be hovering just around the freezing mark. And then we've got low number 3 moving in for Saturday and into Sunday. It's going to be developing as rain, but with temperatures hovering around the freezing mark, we could easily switch to freezing rain and some potentially heavy snowfall. Talk more about this in a few minutes, but first, here's Tom with traffic. Hi there, good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. It's Tuesday, it's the 17th of December. The drive this morning is yucky.
Happy fall to you. I cannot get out of the mode because the winter is going to be very long by the looks of it.
You know, and I was thinking, I said, Tom, you know what? We might be really popular people this winter. We might be really busy on this morning show.
Tune in every day and check out. We'll tell you what's going on out there, what disasters there are on the highways, and certainly in the weather forecast.
We're either going to be loved because we're going to be informing people of what they need to know, or we're going to be hated because we're going to keep reporting snow.
We'll be loved. Don't be silly.
How can anyone ever hate us?
How could they hate us?
Really? Our producer clearly does.
Okay, I know he hates us.
All right, here's the snow, and you can see, I mean, it's not good. We've had plenty of single car accidents on the 401. QEW, not great.
No, it's right across our whole broadcast area is particularly slow.
Yeah, temperatures are cold, too, so you'll need to bundle up. Kevin Yard has done just that. He's got his toque on, he's wearing his gloves, and Kevin, I'm glad to see that you even have your scarf on today. Look at you go. Thanks, Kevin. I'd like to thank Marmar for sending in this shot of the snow in Mississauga. We like to see your beautiful pictures. Just upload them to upload.theweathernetwork.com. We'll break down the system that's coming in over the weekend, or should I say systems. Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we could see 3 areas of low pressure. Talk about that in a moment, but first here's Tom. There is indeed, but we may not like it because it may bring us some rain and some freezing rain and some snow. Temperatures are going to be hovering around the freezing mark for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So those are going to be our worst travel days, shopping days. So if you can, get everything you need to do to prepare for Christmas done before the weekend. We're from 2 to 5 centimeters, causing your morning drive to be a little bit of a mess. Temperatures are also staying cold. We'll talk about the warm-up on the way in just a few moments. Thanks for joining us this morning here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. Lots to talk about. We've got the snow today. We've got a very messy series of systems coming in over the weekend. We're going to start things off by taking a look at the radar for here and the now. Now this clipper, it's starting to dissipate. It's tracking its way east. So the east end of the city still seeing the heavier snow. We are seeing traffic pretty much slowed down, unfortunately, to a standstill in some areas. You almost lost me there for a second. Here's the radar. There's the heavier snowfall just along the shores of Ontario. Some areas up towards Prince Edward County, Cobourg to Prince Edward County, could see about 10 centimeters with this. So if you are traveling eastbound, that's something you could deal with on your drive. Kevin joins us. Well, he was in the Pickering area, then he got off the highway just at Liverpool. And Kevin, where are you joining us now in this heavier snow? Roads becoming very slippery with snow-covered issues. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. When I say snow-covered issues, I mean salt, because temperatures are so cold, it's not doing its job properly. So even though the standards and salters are out, we're not seeing much relief from it. We've been talking about this clipper that's been tracking through Ontario all morning long, and the radar is literally showing pulses of moisture coming through. And Tom and I were just talking about this. We were looking at the radar, and you can see a big bulk of moisture has moved to the east end of Toronto, but Mississauga is starting to intensify around Pearson again. Kitchener is back into a little bit more snow, so it'll ease, and then it'll pick back up, and then it'll ease, and then it'll pick back up. Here's a closer look at the radar. So Milton was in it, then out of it, and now it looks as though just about to get in it once again, like Kitchener is, and Cambridge, and over towards Burlington and Oakville, Mississauga. So it's not going to be easing for any time soon. We've got Kevin. He is joining us near the Pickering area, near Liverpool. And Kevin, snow still coming down there. Really tricky for people getting around this morning, isn't it? It's Tuesday. It is the 17th of December. Thanks for joining us. It is a cold start to the day. We've been dealing with snow. Bit of a commuter headache today.
Hundreds of problems with cars sliding into ditches and into guardrails, and everything is slow. Widespread snow seems to be intensifying a little bit in the west end, so that's causing problems. Allen Expressway is completely closed now northbound from Eglinton because of a crash up near Lawrence.
Well, we're seeing the radar, and you can actually see a little bit of lake effect. The on again, off again snow shower. So it's not going to be one of those beautiful, brilliant, sunny days like we kind of saw yesterday afternoon. We won't see that much sunshine. And then tonight, we could see the flurries move in again.
The good news is the temperatures are going up.
The bad news is that could bring freezing rain.
Rats.
Anyways, we'll get to those details in a minute. First, let's check in with Kevin. He's in Pickering. Kevin, how are people faring with this snow this morning? Are they liking it or not at all?
Well, let's ask Jen. I saw her from a distance. You know how I saw her? That pink hat. She's way over there, heading over to work. Emily was just asking, how are you liking the snowy conditions this morning?
I love it.
And it's also cold this morning, not just the snow. We could see about 2 to 5 centimeters. It feels like the minus teens right across the GTA, and it feels like the minus 20s in Barrie. Sorry, I just got a snowflake that went in my mouth. Okay, I got to throw it back inside the studio. We're live. Yeah, it was definitely refreshing. Okay, I got to swallow the snowflake back inside of the studio. Oh, that's never happened to me.
Weatherman chokes on snowflake. Imagine that headline. All right, I'd like to thank Marmar for sending in this beautiful picture of the snow in Mississauga. If you'd like to be part of our morning programming, all you need to do is upload your pictures to upload.theweathernetwork.com, and you can be showcased right here on the morning show. We have got a very tricky weekend ahead of us, and I'll break it down for you as best I can in just a few moments. But first, Tom, give us an update on some of those delays. Everything seems to be temperature dependent at this point. For Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're looking at temperatures hovering around the freezing mark. For Thursday, an area of low pressure to our north is going to bring in the warmer air. We're going to sit in that warm sector where that warm front is. That's going to bump us up to 3 degrees. Cooling down for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We've got moisture on the way, fine line of a rain-snow mix, freezing rain, and a little bit of snow. My favorite thing about the holidays are going to Christmas parties and eating holiday goodies.
I get so happy when eggnog hits the supermarkets. It's my favorite holiday drink.
We wish you a holiday filled with all your favorite things.
Hi there, good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. We're Canada's #1 choice for complete and accurate weather. I'm Emily Vukovic, and it is a cold and snowy start to the day. I'd like to take a moment and thank Marmar for sending in this shot from Mississauga, Ontario. looking at all the snowfall. If you've got pictures and you want them to be showcased right here on the morning show, just upload them to upload.theweathernetwork.com. Now, we've been seeing an Alberta Clipper move its way through parts of southern Ontario this morning, giving us a bit of a headache for our morning commute. Temperatures are cold to start the day, and they're going to stay quite cool. Here's a close-up of the radar, and you can see it's mostly tracking off towards the east, the west end really starting to clear out. 2 to 5 centimeters widespread throughout the area. -4 is our daytime high today, but feeling closer to -7. Now, this weekend, this is the last holiday shopping weekend. This is a weekend where many people are going to be traveling for Christmas parties, work parties. You may be having guests, family, loved ones flying in. It's going to be a very tricky weekend weather-wise and a very busy weekend people-wise. So we've got the first area of low pressure that's tracking in through Atlantic Canada tonight. That's our Clipper. The next one goes north of us on Thursday, but within that warm sector, we're going to see a warm-up. Behind that, we've got the cold front. Temperatures are going to be hovering around the freezing mark. So by Friday, overnight and throughout the day, overnight into Saturday, we've got an area of low pressure that's going to be bringing us rain. But because temperatures are so close to the freezing mark, this could actually be a little bit of a rain-snow mix. And then we've got another area of low pressure moving in Saturday through Sunday. Again, same story, temperatures hovering around the freezing mark. So that is where we could see not only a rain-snow mix, but we could see some freezing rain as well as some snow with this. So it's going to be a really tricky weekend for travel. And I mean, things are very uncertain at this point because it is so far out. All sorts of stuff by the looks of it. -2 tomorrow, 3 degrees for Thursday. Here comes the rain Friday, Saturday, Sunday. As you can see, temperatures hovering around the freezing mark. So there's a really good chance that in through Toronto, Hamilton, and Oshawa, we are going to be seeing a messy mix of all three for the weekend. Giving us about 2 to 5 centimeters of snow. Not great for trying to get around this morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. We've been talking about the snow, we've been talking about the cold temperatures, and we've been talking about the messy systems, not just systems that are going to move in over the weekend. Be a bit of a headache for holiday plans, let's just say that. I'll get to all of those details in just a few moments. But first, let's look at the radar. You can see a lot of the moisture is now moving off towards the east end of the city, so through Toronto and Scarborough and through Pickering and Oshawa and all the way towards Cobourg and Prince Edward County could see up to 10 centimeters of snow. So traveling eastbound on the 401 today, not great. Behind it, here's that little bit of lake enhancement coming off of Huron. So we're really just going to see pulses of moisture pretty much all day long, on and off flurries, and then tonight again on and off flurry. So it's not going to be a beautiful sunny day. We may see a little bit of sunshine, but it's going to be one of those kind of snowing, then not snowing, snowing, then not snowing. Now, 2 to 5 centimeters widespread throughout much of the GTA. Temperatures are going to remain quite cold, so keep that in mind. You'll need to bundle up. Kevin is in Pickering this morning. And Kevin, what happened to your toque? You were wearing it all morning long. You went inside and got warm, didn't you? Thanks, Kevin. Well, we are going to continue to see cool temperatures for the rest of the week, but we do have a warm-up on the way for Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's where we're going to be seeing the risk of some freezing rain, a rain-snow mix, and some snow with temperatures hovering around the freezing mark. So if you've got holiday plans this weekend, last weekend to get out and shop before Christmas, you might want to do it before that if you can.